Welcome to another installment of the Rodu video series. I'm Rob Dulaban, founder of Rodu, and today we're talking about a movement that should be absolutely fundamental in your training program, the deadlift. We'll show you how to do it properly, safely, and effectively, and give you a few variations in case you're new to the movement. Stay tuned. Hello again, and thanks for joining us for this week's video. It's great to be back in the gym after a week vacation in San Diego. I know my skin may not show it, but I swear I was hanging on the beach for the past 7 days, getting my surf on. And today we're talking about the deadlift, fundamental movement in our training here at the gym. Previously we talked about the importance of the posterior chain for athletes. It's critical for balance, speed, and overall power production on the field. Now to get your body properly ready to deadlift, I recommend checking out our video on posterior chain warm-up. Go through those movements and come back into the gym ready to move some weight. Now, in theory, the deadlift is a very simple movement. You're just picking up weight, putting it back down. It doesn't get much easier than that. However, there are a lot of nuances to the movement to do it properly, safely, and most effectively. Also, there are several variations to the deadlift, including single leg movements, but today we're looking at the bilateral deadlift. It's important to incorporate both into your training, and in future videos we'll talk about the single leg deadlift. But today we're covering the conventional deadlift, the sumo deadlift, and deadlifting from blocks. So before we even get set up with the deadlift, I want to talk about the grip. So I stress with my athletes on a double overhand grip. You'll see a lot of people in gyms doing an alternated grip, meaning one hand over, one hand under. The purpose of that is just to prevent the bar from slipping out. So if it slips one way, the other hand can kind of catch it. However, holding it at different angles like that is going to put a lot of torque on the body, especially when you get to higher weights. Very dangerous, can really mess up your back. So double overhand is going to be a safer way to go. In addition, it gets you ready to pull from the floor for cleans. You're never going to clean with an alternated grip and put that on your shoulders. So get used to it now. Pull with a double overhand grip so when we go to the clean, you're used to that motion. You don't have to relearn. Also, it's going to build grip strength. It is more challenging to hold the bar with just a double overhand than it is with an alternating. Grip strength is a great thing in Frisbee, okay? It's going to give you a tighter grip. It's going to give you more spin on that disc. It's going to enhance your throws. So, it's all benefits doing the double overhand grip. If you need to lock that bar in, I recommend doing the hook grip. So what that is putting your thumb down and wrapping your fingers on top. That's going to lock that bar in better than any alternated grip can. So, double overhand hook grip is the way to go. So we're going to talk about the setup from the ground up. First thing you want to think about is staking your heels into the ground. Okay, when I come here, just driving my heels into the ground. They're not moving the entire time I go through this deadlift. So set up for success, drive them in. Going up the body, you want a nice vertical shin. So as I go down, I'm pulling the bar close to the shin. And again, nice and vertical with that shin. If I get an angle on my shin, it means I'm too far forward. I'm leaning on my toes. I'm not engaging that posterior chain like I should be. So, continuing up the body. Next thing I want to focus on is showing off that logo. All right? A lot of Frisbee jerseys have that logo on the chest. Show it off. Let people see it in the gym. If I hide that logo, I'm now rounding my back. My person in front of me can't see it. I'm putting myself in a compromising position. However, I show that logo. I've got that nice neutral curvature in my back. Much safer, all right? Way to go. Easy to think about. Show that logo. Continuing up the body, just look forward, okay? You see a lot of people looking up to the sky. It's putting a lot of strain on your cervical spine. No need to do that. Just look forward a few feet, and as you go up, you're just going to continue looking up in front of you. All right, so our setup is all good. Now we're ready to start the pull. First thing you want to do is engage the lats. All right, what I mean by that is just getting those big muscle groups. You want to think about the deadlift for the upper body as an isometric hold, okay? You're not shrugging, you're not doing anything with the upper body. You just want to hold it nice and tight. So to engage those lats, bend the bar, all right? Obviously it's a steel bar, it's not going anywhere, but that's the visualization I want you to think about as you go through this. So, I'm set up, my heels are staked, got a vertical shin, showing that logo, looking forward. Now, bend the bar, and from here, I want to drive through my heels, pull that bar close to the body, a nice straight bar path. When I get to the top of the movement, I just squeeze my glutes, okay? Like I said, it's an isometric hold, but you see a lot of people doing the shrug, leaning back, hyperextending their back, putting a lot of stress on their body, a lot of undue stress on their body that they just don't need to. So, all you need to do, squeeze the glutes. The point for all those additional movements is people are trying to extend their hips. If I squeeze my glutes, I guarantee you my hips are extended. So, now I'm at the top, I'm ready to start coming back down. Same thing, you want that nice straight bar path, and I'm driving through my heels, sit the hips back, touch down, and I'm ready to go again. Drive back up. Okay, again, as I lower, I don't want to shoot my knees forward. I'm coming on my toes, the bar's resting on my hips, or on my legs rather, and I'm getting an ugly bar path. Again, sit the hips back, straight bar path, touch down. Now let's talk about tempo real quick. So I like to emphasize the eccentric portion of the deadlift. So what that is the lowering phase. When we're on the field, you're most at risk during the eccentric portion of when you're running. At your top speed, sprinting down the field, most people aren't getting injured. It's when they plant, try to change direction, that's when something pops, that's when they get hurt. So to combat that, we stress that, we spend more time in that eccentric motion and build that strength. So, I do a 3-0-X tempo. What that means is 3 seconds lowering, 0 seconds transition, and an explosive drive up. Sometimes you'll see a 3-0-1, but as you get heavier, it's not always 1 second to get that weight up. So I just like to say, as fast as you can, as explosive as you can. So let's look at the tempo from the front. Again, heel staked, vertical shin, logo shown, looking forward, bend the bar, drive up, and it's 1, 2, 3, drive. 1, 2, 3, drive. All right, 1, 2, 3, down. Now, I said I'd give some variations here for the deadlift. That's the conventional right there. Next, we're looking at the sumo deadlift. So, sumo deadlift, think sumo wrestler. When a sumo wrestler is ready to attack, he gets his plant, he gets that wide stance, and he's ready to go forward. Basically, that's your setup right there. So there are smooth parts on the bar called knurlings. I like to use that for my marker, my visual marker for my shin. I have a little bit longer legs, so if you're on the shorter side, you can move it in, but I stay here. And the sumo deadlift is great for people new to the deadlift, or if you're on the lankier side, it's great for that too. And let's be honest, a lot of Frisbee players, we're on the lankier side. So, setting up here, wide stance, toes pointed outwards. My knees, as they travel down, are going to point out towards my toes. Again, not caving in. We've talked about that before. Staying engaged, driving out. And it's a wide stance with a narrow grip. Everything else stays the same. So coming down, bars close, touching my shins. I have an even grip. I'm bending that bar in half. Strong drive up. And it's 1, 2, 3, drive. 1, 2, 3, drive. All right? So again, great variation if you're on the taller side, if you're new to the movement. Now, the third variation we're going to look at is deadlifting from the blocks. Okay? If you're coming off an injury, if you just have less mobility than your teammates, blocks are a great way to go until you can get down to that conventional ground level. Also with the blocks, you can just kind of keep lowering it, get smaller and smaller blocks as you progress with your movement. Everything else is going to stay the same. We've just raised the floor here. So I'll show you the conventional deadlift here. You can also do it with the sumo deadlift. But same thing, heels stake, vertical shin, chest up, looking forward, bending the bar, drive up, and you can still keep that same eccentric focus. 1, 2, 3, drive. 1, 2, 3, drive. All right, lower again. 1, 2, 3, to the ground. Now, whether it's conventional deadlift, sumo deadlift, or deadlifting from blocks, your rep scheme is going to depend on your goals. So if you're looking for muscular endurance, you want to go high reps, low weight, build a lot of reps in, 15 or more, 15 to 20 range. If you're looking for hypertrophy, and that's just building that muscle fiber, making it thicker, maybe you want a more dominating presence on the field, look at the 8 to 12 range. To build strength, look at 4 to 6. And by the way, now is a great time to be building your foundational strength if you're a club player. It's the off season, this is the time to do it. So when you go to in season and you're ready to peak, you're trying to build that power, and you're looking at the 1 to 4 range for each set. All right, so that's the deadlift. Pick one of them, conventional, sumo, or from the blocks. Implement it into your training today. It's gonna help you out. It's gonna build that posterior chain strength. It's gonna help reduce your risk of injury. It's gonna get you through your season. It's gonna make you a better player, trust me. And yeah, that's everything for the deadlift. Let us know what you think. Leave some comments, subscribe. We'll be here again next week talking about the next movement. And we'd love to hear from you. Let us know what else you want to see. And see you next time. Thanks. Bye.